Yeah, I think so. I think it's different for each band member because you occupy a different spot. Like a vocalist, they've got lyrics. I mean, how much can they improvise the lyrics, right? They'll lose the audience, so it's not a good idea to pick that area to improvise in. Or let's say you're like Mike Keneally in my band. He has very often guitar and keyboard duties all together in one song, switching back and forth. So he's got to be pretty much in reality. But there might be there might be a point in the song where I said, "You Mike, why don't you just step out and just like improvise for a bit?" So he's getting ready for that. So he stays totally, in reality until he knows this is the point where Joe wants me to come out and just freak out for a while. So then he switches into that other thing, and he tries to express himself just at that very moment. And so I don't know where he goes. And then he knows that if he sees me walk in a certain place, because we've talked about it, that means that moment is finished, wrap it up, and then we get back to the song kind of thing. So I think in this particular case, I'm not exactly like the vocalist who has to stick to the script, but so I can improvise a little bit. But the whole thing for me, as soon as I step out on stage, is a bit dreamy, to tell you the truth. It's a bit, I catch myself hyperventilating for no reason at all when I'm up there, and it must be because I'm just lost and extremely excited. And I never knew that until people would ask me, like, sound like you were out of breath. And I think, really? What was that? I was just standing there, wasn't I? So I must be extremely like in overdrive, even though maybe I'm just standing still, but the process of bringing that emotion out and becoming vulnerable in front of a few thousand people and putting it on the guitar is a cathartic experience. Yeah, and it's visible, let's say. Yeah, I think it is interesting that sometimes it seems like under adverse conditions some other thing happens that maybe isn't something that can be recognized by the performer, but to the manager or the lighting person or something like that, they see it as a unique thing where the artist may walk off the stage and say, that was a struggle. I never achieved that space I was looking for. It was so hard to deal with this technical problem or whatever. And then the manager says, my God, that was the best thing I've ever seen you do. It's proof, that the artist really should not ever be involved in evaluating anything subjunctive, and they should never think about what they should have done, what they could have done, or what they would have done, or what do people think about what I'm doing right now. They should just never think that way. They just have to be artistic, and then when they're done, they have to just walk away from it and let other people decide what happened. And then they just go on and keep doing what they're doing. It doesn't really make sense in the real world, but that's really the only sane way to do it, because there's no sanity in art. So to try to bring sanity to art doesn't make any sense. I think I've only had one occasion where I woke up dreaming a song and it was exactly the way that I recorded it. Yeah, it was a song, and I called it Dream Song because of that, right? So, but funny thing about dreams is you're not quite sure when you're dreaming it, but you only remember it when you wake up, right? But it could have been hours before, deep in sleep. It could have happened in a millisecond, right before you woke up. The brain works in funny ways, right? So what I just remember waking up thinking I'd been playing this song on the organ, and I saw the whole song laid out, and I just got up and went right into my studio and I recorded the song. And pretty much how it is on that record, that's the way it is. But that's only happened once. I mean, I've had other riddles of arrangements solved where I got up, I went to bed thinking, how am I going to fix this part? And then I woke up knowing exactly how I was going to do it. But it wasn't like it was a movie that ran in my head. So yeah, most of the time it's been while I'm awake. I think so. I think that when I was really young, that the concept of end of the road wasn't conceivable. I mean, when you're 14, 15 years old, it's, you know, you've got the blinders of youth on, and I think watching family members pass away, having children, these things mature you, they change you, and you get on the other side of 50 and you start thinking differently about things. It's a natural kind of a thing. I think it only, first of all, there's nothing you can do about it. And it's been happening to every single human ever since whatever. So it's not like you're special or something, right? So once you relax about that thing, then you realize, well, this is, again, it goes back to what I said earlier about putting your story into the music. That's what it's all about. It's like the greatest gift of all is your unique story. Just pour it right onto these strings, and it'll all be great. You don't have anything to worry about.